Culture 101. Whether you like it or not, even Kachi is shaking her head like we have entered class today. But let's talk about human development. How it also help in achieving long-term profitability in people, or maybe let's just okay, we add 5% to your salary. Oh no, today let everybody go and eat in XY. Well, how does human capital development increase profitability in organizations?
All right, I've always been an advocate as an HR person to I've informed many organizations, captains and entrepreneurs to really take that very serious, because most times you tend to see that they churn out a whole lot of achievement they want to make for the year. They want to grow in revenue by 20%, by 50%. They want to really optimize their product offering. They want to do X, Y, Z, and do a lot of segmentation on their product differentiation. But when you ask them, what are those that will drive this growth? And what are the plans on ground for those individuals? And they start scamping around. I never thought it that way itself. Right? So invariably, every growth and sustainability of organization itself is on the shoulders of the women, of the staff that are in the organization. That's human capital development itself. Because again, you can't achieve anything if you don't really get them well sorted out. Now, what am I trying to say in the essence is this? Now, you want to ensure that, okay, you get 20% increase in your revenue for this year. And you know that comes with a lot of challenges. If I'm not well motivated alongside you, or you don't really tend to give me the needed assistance and support and structure system that will help me to mitigate against the normal challenges that comes my way, just like what you said, the light, electricity, the tariff, and the rest. I'm not motivated to go or to become ingenuous or to be ingenious or to diversify in my thinking on how to go about it. I'll just come back, regurgitate what you asked me to do. I'll come back and say, no, it's not working, it's not working. But when the staff is well motivated enough, even in the midst of that itself, they begin to find ways to go about the situations. And because they are already on ground, they will come back and give feedbacks and say how best you can promote that itself. Because now they now understand that not only do I need to deliver this product, I'm also a beneficiary of the success of this. So now they now take it as their own thing itself. So invariably they understand, okay, I need to be trained on this much more. Because if I get better training on this product knowledge itself, I can at least begin to deliver a better service to individuals. And when I deliver better service to clients itself, it will bring about sales and repeated sales as well. And when repeated sales comes in alongside, my company has already promised me that if by the first quarter, if we hit specific figure, I'm going to get X, Y, Z. So what happens, I begin to become intentional to ensuring that I don't give lip service or excuses to why I couldn't get it done. But rather I'll begin to find ways to go about it itself. And if I need help, I know, okay, there's a listening here in the office that can always assist me in that regard. And then they can always come to support and then drive the thing alongside. So it's important that organizations begin to give intentional attention to staff welfare, all right? And to staff incentives and salary. Okay, a client called me earlier and said, the Riverside and they work from 8 o'clock till 6 o'clock, Monday to Saturday. I said, okay, it's fine. Even this, your request is very stringent. How much are you willing to pay? He said 40,000. I said, to produce target, not fine, to the staff. And you expect the staff, after all this you've said, with a lot of unending job descriptions, for 40,000 naira. You already know, you already setting yourself up for failure. So I said, well, you know what? It's on me as a HR practitioner that I must stick by the basics, which is 97,000 for minimum wage. So if you cannot do 7,000, we cannot even start talking in the first instance. And now, but I said, but then if you give them that 17,000, they will not produce X, Y. I said, then you have the right duties to provide trainings for the staff. First of all, we're going to make sure that we get the round square in the square peg in the square hole. All right, for you. That's why we are doing that for you. So when we get the person there, what is the organizational culture? Does it support the staff's growth? All right. Now, I'm not asking what are your templates, all right, the standard operating procedures that every staff must go through to understand that, okay, this is what I need to do as per this happens as per this, nothing on ground.
But Dr. Sam, what do you now say to organizations where they've employed somebody for almost 7 years and the person has not gone for any training?
Well, again, you cannot expect something different from what you have not, improved upon. All right, you cannot keep doing the same thing and expect.
So are you saying such organizations should not in any time try to hold that staff responsible for not improving?
In fact, you cannot hold that staff. Nobody can hold that staff to bring in extra results, because invariably you've not done anything to the staff in any case. How can you not go for training? In fact, it's expected that you go for training at least 2 or 3 times in a year.
But Dr. Sam, some organizations will tell you that if we send this person on a training, the person can resign and go somewhere else. So what do we benefit from that?
Okay, now, you used to say something in our program that said, because of thief, I will not go to the farm. both the thief and the farmer will die of hunger. Right? So, but then, and I think it's about the mindset. People must move. All right. Of course, most of us didn't get to stay in the place we have even up to now. Even the person that is telling you also has moved at a particular point in time. But if the culture is okay, and the staff is able to get what it needs basically, I can assure you 70 to 80% of the staff will be retained. All right. It is when they don't get their basics right. All right. How can you be paying somebody less than 100,000 in this very economy? Even to go to work alone, if your transportation is already almost 70 to 80,000 naira, so you can expect that staff will be using your internet to search for another job. You are in the office, all right. And because they know also that there is not, even if I'm going to endure this for the next 3 months, all right, what is coming in for me at the end of the first quarter? So even if I say, okay, I'm going to give you 120,000, but if you're able to get X, Y, Z figures in, okay, I'm going to give you something. Okay, I'm giving an 8. All those other things, it may not necessarily be amount, money per se, but it could just be some of these fringe benefits or some of these allowances, you know, that goes alongside. All right, you don't expect somebody to work Mondays till Friday or Mondays till Saturday. On Sunday, you still call the person over and over to really, have you not seen that message? Have you not replied that mail and the rest itself? So these are human being, not machines. They also need to have their social life. They need to have their family life. They need to have their religious life as well, which of course, they need to have their societal life. So if you don't balance all this, and you begin to ask for so much without you even giving them something to justify why they sacrifice those things. Because, okay, if you say, okay, my social life, my religious life is a little bit sacrificed, but then if they hand something tangible that justifies that. I will not be in a friend's graduation, I will not be in my friend's wedding, I will not be in any of those church programs, Muslim program itself, because I'm working. And when they ask me to donate X, Y, I say I don't have the money. So I cannot lose on both sides. So invariably, it's important that even so that's why I say Nigerians are not just that very stupid that they would want to jump up and down the whole place. If the place is okay, like where I worked before, I worked there for almost 14 years. Gaining the experience, growing through the ranks alongside too. In any case, before I had to move on. All right? And I've seen people that will only work in a place for 2 to 3 months and they leave. All right? So that could also have happened to me if I never enjoyed the growth, the opportunity that the place gives to you, all right, as an individual. You get to say, okay, I've come to see that these people, they are purely on merit, on performance. Okay? That means if I sincerely put in my best, I'm going to be promoted, I'm going to get remunerated, I'm going to get listed for other travels, international incentives, HMOs, and the rest. Man, I'll give you my best for such. More importantly, that the success of that organization is also my success. And that can even enter into my CV to say that we increase revenue by so time in case I need to move on to another place. But at least I know I have something that I must have put into my resume that speaks for me and can verify it in any case. So staffs, captains of industry or entrepreneurs should not be thinking that if I train them, they will run away. If not, you will not get revenue and they will still go in any case.
They'll use your internet to look for it.
But that's what we see.
Let's dive into the economy. I mean, you as a human resource expert and also a sales expert. I mean, looking at the economy from where we both stand, which you are very much aware, what would you be saying to an entrepreneur who is about to start a business in this country right now?
Now, this may sound very controversial, but I must say it this way, all right? Don't go and start a business because of passion. All right? I'm passionate about it.
I'm very passionate. I'm passion for fashion. I started my fashion house because of passion.
Yeah. But please don't start business because of passion, because the disposable income available for people is trimming down every single time. So it's important to first of all start business for the purpose of value. Problems you are solving. It doesn't matter. There's one this thing that they say, you know, when the stop started one time in Lagos, they said the guy's into waste disposal. And people say, what can this disposal waste? How does that come in? You know, early 2000s. But now that's a multi-million-dollar industry now, because every gathering you get to see disposable toilets, plastics everywhere. But when he started the whole thing, he was saying that there's money in waste. But people were saying, what is he talking about? Now, this is a guy that he was a master's holder at that time, and he said he's going into garbage. All right? So invariably, you would have asked, but this is not what to study on campus. He even got to the point of being a master's student holder. So what he looked at is that he said, when I was talking with him the other time, he said, you know what, anytime he goes out for events, crusade, programs out there, people hardly find a place to ease themselves.
Hmm.
So it's becoming a big issue, especially for places that has not yet been well structured, you know, and you just want to have a makeshift tent and all those. They said that becomes a problem. You know, you go for expos, you go for trade fairs, and all these outdoor programs. People don't have a place to properly take care of themselves when they are pressed. So he decided to go into the business, and at that time it was very, very early. So he went to the business and started importing those disposable toilets and the rest. Yeah. And that was how he took up the whole market. And now, that same business has built for him a multi-million-dollar business, even as of today. So invariably, I will not ask that you don't go into what you are passionate about. All right? Go into what sells. All right? Go into what people can easily recognize that, okay, this is my pain point. If I buy this product, it can solve this headache. All right, it can solve this area of interest. It can solve this area that, of course, I need, because people buy it because they want you to ensure that at least I'm having this headache and you are able to solve my headache. All right, there's this problem I'm facing. You're able to give me solutions. All right, if you cannot provide that, then don't go into that business, because invariably when push comes to push, all right, it is the client that you are solving their headache that will be able to hold you in business. Because again, things get to grow. I mean, we don't know when tomorrow now price may go the other way. We don't pray that happens itself. But it is those clients that you have contact with that you are really being a source of relief to their areas of pain that will hold you in your business. All right, and it's also important that you begin to segment those clientele as well and say, okay, I've already said this that 80% of every organization revenue comes from 20% of the clients. Wow. So immediately you need to do a segmentation, such that where am I spending my revenue more? Do I just spend on frivolities or some of those clients that, you know, there are some clients that you pray that they don't even buy from you, because the edit they will give to you, you know, it's something that they come with their vibe, even though we say customer is which I understand. But again, and there are some clients that when they buy a product or service, or they get your service, just one payment can solve your 3-month operational cost. All right, so those are the clients you now begin to segment. You look at your expenses and you look at your revenue that for the past 6 months or 1 year, and look at who are the paying clients, who are the repeated clients as well too, and become intentional about those clients, that you can begin to service them well enough that you can begin to now, you know, get referrals from those kind of paying clients, because there's tendency that they will know people of their caliber that may also want that product as well. So you can now begin to do a loyalty program, and again begin to ensure that they get the exceptional service that you are really promising, such that they can now begin to trust their high network individuals like themselves or people of their nature or caliber to you, because they feel that, or not that, they have felt good service from you, and they can be so sure that if I recommend my friend to this person with the way he has treated me, I'm sure he's going to treat my friend very well or alongside. So invariably you begin to make a repeated sale, and also you can also cross-sell, you can upsell. All right, you know, you can make complementary product available as well too. All right, and then you get to see that, okay, what you are not selling before, maybe you are selling, let's say for example, you know, filling station sells for, now they sell a whole lot of engine oil, sell all other
fuel boosters
and all those stuff alongside. So invariably, even while they buy the first, cannot be to buy additional things. And I've also said to people that when you have a product that you're selling as well, and you find that you're selling one particular line of product, diversify it to 2, 3, 4 complementary products. That even if one is not selling, the other one can sell. And if this one sells, that the renewal time is not yet, you know, has not yet matured, within the time of renewal, you can begin to sell a complementary product around it. So that there will never be a lacuna in your revenue generation every single month.
Interesting. Let's go to WhatsApp and take your calls right now. Call us on 0700 951 0000. It's time for you to ask questions. This is free consultation I've brought to you. And WhatsApp is 00399 30137. Neme from Asokoro says, Sir Elefizi, your guest is practically on point. As a consultant as well, I reckon with all the scenarios and situations he was putting forward. In fact, employee go use your internet to the point that they will not do anything new and still give reports. Something was done on that day. Neme from Asokoro, also speaking from experience. All right, call us up on 0700 951 0000. WhatsApp is 00399 30137. That's the number to call. And of course, you can either add to what we're saying or find out how to make your business better or how to improve on your human development for your business. Those forms our conversation this day. Okay, all right, and then let's go on to talk about business looking to scale up in the competitive market. What are the first 3 things you recommend they focus on to sustain growth?
All right. Naturally, we need to understand before you want to go into scaling itself. Do you have a repeated, how will I put it now, a revenue that is repeatedly coming in consistently? Now, what I'm saying is that, okay, before you say that you want to scale up itself, can you be sure that in 12 months in a year you can get X amount of money coming in consistently? What I mean is that, okay, now I got in 5 million in the first month. Second month I got in 3 million. Third month I got in 7 million. Fourth month like that. So of course it's not linear.
Yeah,
it's up and down.
up and down.
But when I do my average, all right, what is the average I can get in a month? All right. So if my average is 2.5 million in a month itself, I cannot look at can this as well pay my operational expenses and still have my profit I needed? Because sometimes we business owners make mistakes that the month we did so well and revenue came in so well that month, man, we need to grow. Not understand that is the structure. Do you have enough structure?
So let's scale up
To be able to accommodate, what we intend to do. And it's unfortunate that in this part of the country, as soon as organization scales up, their service delivery becomes very poor.
Wow.
Because they don't have the back-end structure to be able to hold back and consolidate. All right. So invariably, before you think about scaling up, first of all, look at what comes in averagely. All right. And if you're able to measure that, how consistent has that been? All right. So if I said every month I'm able to make 5 million every month averagely, and that can be possible for 3 months consecutively, even though it's 5.5, 4.2, and the rest, at least I know I can get 5 million. So then you can now go back and say, there was a time I wrote something on the other, and I said, what? Sometimes we feel that we pray to God to grow our business by 3x, 4x, 10x itself. But do you have the capacity to be able to handle such 10x when it grows? Do you have the staff at the back end that can able to hold on to the numbers of volumes that comes in with the stress that comes in? Because the more you scale, the more the client complains, the clients they turn back and all the rest alongside. So do I have the staff that are well trained enough to be able to service the new business I want to really open up? All right. Now you see somebody that wants to scale up now. They started here in Abuja, and now that business has grown up here in Abuja, understand that the demographics in Abuja understand that business. They want to open up in Lagos because they feel Lagos is the end thing. But again, does this product or service you're offering here resonate to people in Lagos, or do I need to go and open this same product in Gombe? Because again, you need to understand the product you are using itself. Where do people of that? Okay, I was checking my social media, Facebook the other day, and I saw that what I'm able trying out on my page. Who are those that this resonates with? All right, is it? And I begin to say, from 25 to 44 years old of people, these are people that my social media engagement really resonates with. So I need to be intentional to make content in that regards to that very age range, and begin to talk more to them and begin to attend events where those age range gathers. And not just immediately say I want to go out everywhere, go to all those stuff. So they need to say, again, my client base itself. Who are my client base? All right, are they male? Are they female? Sometimes you need to look at are they from what age range alongside itself. What is the main thing they talked about my product has even satisfied them well, so that I can begin to improve on that product offering alongside too. Then again, this kind of product I'm selling here itself, does it have a general appeal to all the whole Nigerian community itself, or is it something that is just within this very specific area that this product sells so well? All right, like I said, now newspaper can still sell in some interior areas, but it cannot sell in let's say for example in where internet broadband is there is high penetration of that there. But maybe those areas where they don't have internet or the internet is very epileptic, perhaps you can still sell newspaper there. Even though they may get it maybe 2 days after because of the distance alongside. So again, even though that is not something that may necessarily sell so well in the urban area, but it can sell in the remote area because of the internet penetration is very low. So while scaling up, we need to first of all understand, have I been able to have enough revenue that over and over in 3, 4, 6 months, I know my basis, and that covers my operational cost, it covers my expense. That if I now begin to open up another branch in Lagos, I have an extra to spare. That site I'm opening up or that branch I'm opening up, even though it doesn't bring in revenue for the next 6 months, because this one has been sustainable with 5 million every month itself, I am sure that that extra I'm going to get from the profit can still service that business entity there for the next 6 months, even if that business is not bringing revenue.
Interesting.
Because again, sometimes when they open up a new branch or a new outlet, they expect that outlet to start bringing in revenue the first month. And that doesn't work.
Wow. So I mean, it's not just about opening up new branch, or scaling up. It's about checking if there is the capacity to do that. Which also brings me to this. So, are you saying that some entrepreneurs, for example, there's an entrepreneur in Kuje who is making good sales in Kuje, might definitely not need to come to Gariki?
Exactly. Now, thank God for the internet, all right, and social media space, all right. Yesterday, I drove a friend to the airport, and while I was coming back, I had to branch out Kuje to pick up an item. This is a lady inside I don't want to mention her name now. I've not met her one-on-one, but I bought items from her worth over 200,000, right? But she stays in Kuje. So invariably, I stay in town, and she promotes that on her status on her Facebook page, which of course is an in thing. Everybody knows that now itself. So how you do it the right way, you do it the proper way. And I keep picking up items from her every single time. And of course, yesterday was the first time we met, where I get to really pick up the items from her. So invariably, because she's in Kuje now, doesn't mean that she has to be in town. And there are some products that are physical products, except that you don't have to open office or shops for them. I understand if you're selling a premium product that is in millions, sometimes you need to open a physical space to build trust. Because sometimes, the trust level in this part of the world has not yet been that, concretized to that point where you send 10 million to somebody that you have not seen before.
Yes.
Right? So they want to see a physical structure alongside. But then, see that physical structure doesn't mean that you have now to open physical structure everywhere alongside. So most times, the internet has made things much easier for us, that you can always be in your room, all right, and begin to work, through your social media and to scale up things alongside there, and people can really come and get to you. And more importantly, that's where it comes in, your response time. All right? Somebody was calling me yesterday, say, no, you can come now. I'm online now, call me online. I said, what do you mean by you're online? Is that a time you should be offline? And you're not a business person. You should be online every single time that, naturally you should respond to your client every 5 minutes.
So then, Dr. Sam, what do you say about business owners who their Instagram accounts are on private?
No, it's not ready. The person is not ready for business. I'm sure the person is not ready for business. Because again, a friend of mine beside me, we were having a meeting the other day, and somebody called him and he was angry to pick his call. I said, who is this? Why are you calling me? I said, I thought this is your public number. And the essence why you gave this number, I asked for hope to get back to you. He said, yes. Then why are you angry when they called you? Besides, this is even the work hours between 8 and 5. He said they are disturbing. I said, if that's the case, get a secretary to hold that phone for you, so that secretary can answer calls politely, right, with the expectation that they want to get business from the client. So if you're having an Instagram account and you put it on private, then I'm sure you're not into business.
All right, as we drive towards going for the last commercials, and before I let you go, what industry do you see as leading the change in sustainable growth and talent development in Nigeria?
Well, that's
from your expert eye. Yes, I know that you were not expecting this question. From your expert eyes.
Well, of course, we know tech is really leading now. All right, tech and information technology, cyber security, and all those stuff. But naturally, I've always said this is that every business has the potential to scale up and to grow sustainably if you are attending to the client's pain point. If you are providing value, you are providing solution. It doesn't matter the industry you find yourself. It's just unfortunate that in this part of the world, sometimes because we don't have enough infrastructure to support, like a friend of mine opened up an educational consulting firm where from his room he can always lecture people at every point in time. But he had to close down because of the surging internet prices, alongside. And sometimes the internet will go down for 1 or 2, 3 days, and he had clients that are from different parts of the continent. So invariably, even while we accept some industry are doing so well alongside as well today, I think there's the need to have that infrastructure that can back it up alongside. But I will say this to answer your question directly, that as long as you are providing solution and you are solving client pain points and you are doing exceptionally well to give clients good experience, right, such that the client can always, and you have a product differentiation, you have a niche that you have mastered so well, and you know your product so well that in fact people can say that when it comes to this very part, you are a name to reckon with. All right, you have built up a brand to an extent, and you continue to sustain, that service delivery to your client. I believe you can always, scale through. And of course.
And I must really say a big thank you to Dr. Sam Osheni, who is also the founder and lead instructor in International Academy of Sales and Telemarketing Management. Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
It's a pleasure coming around there.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. But you have to make me a promise on air that if I need you another Wednesday, you will come. Yes. Yes.
Well, if I'm in Abuja, all right. If I'm in Abuja, I will try to be around.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sam. Thank you.
You're most welcome.
All right, guys. Thank you. This is where we have to draw the curtains. I was looking forward to your questions. I didn't see any of them, but it's also fine. But when people start asking me, please, can you send me his number? That's where you'll be shocked. Kachi, you wanted to say something?